The new season of Parallel just dropped, beta season 8 right here, and we have a new patch. Every season comes with a new patch and a new card, so we're gonna go over that pretty quickly, let you know my thoughts on it, and let's get into it. So the season is called Fearless Stronghold, and it features a new Earthen card, and it also features some other stuff as well. So of course we have the stuff that usually happens, whatever, new store items, battle pass, blah blah blah. But yeah, let's get into the card right here that you can get in the battle pass. It is called Merciless Bulwark. It's a 4 energy 3/6 that has retaliate. This unit and adjacent units gain +1/+1. So honestly, pretty decent stats, and every time it takes damage, it gains those stats, even if it takes lethal damage as well. So I think it is pretty solid, especially if you stick a board, of course. Maybe with some decay kind of shenanigans, I don't know. But yeah, I think this card is not too bad, and I feel like it has some potential. Usually battle pass cards are pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, we just saw the logistics cruiser last month, which is insanely strong. This I think is a little less power level, but I'd say it seems decent on paper. Then we have some new cosmetics, of course. This card back is actually pretty beautiful. I kind of like it. Pretty nice card frame as well. Naya skin, it's all right. But yeah, always love some cool cosmetics for the collection. If you reach level 33 in the battle pass, you get a Bulwark title, blah blah blah. Prime variants, they added some awesome prime variants, the ones that people got from tournaments. Like myself, I got the Wong one. Did not get the Harf one, Sag. But I'm gonna try to get whatever the next one is. They look really awesome in the game, and they even like glow like green around it. But yeah, player inventory refresh button, just so you don't have to restart your game every time you want to update something in your inventory, like outside of the game or something. Seems pretty good. Game field improvements, they're always making improvements to the UI. We love to see it. Here are the card changes though. Here are some card changes. This is the meat. So Trade Secrets, a card that I didn't even know about. Copy all upgrades attached to a friendly unit onto another friendly unit, reduced by 1. Actually seems like a pretty solid card, I'm not gonna lie. Don't know if it's necessary, but that change, 1 energy is actually a big deal, especially in a game like Parallel. So I would maybe look at experimenting with this card. The next card is Hidden Vaults. Another card that sees no play, and we love to see cards that get no love get some love, you know. And Hidden Vaults, it says you have no hand limit, which doesn't really come up in Parallel, but they made it 0 as a relic, which you can't really do too much else to it besides that. And I think it still sucks. I don't really know when you're really going to be going over that hand limit, but maybe somebody could find a use for it someday. You do also have to keep in mind that they are making these balance changes right when we're like about to get a new set. We should be getting a new set, I believe, sometime this month, maybe late this month. So maybe they didn't go too crazy on the changes. Maybe they could have buffed some other cards or changed some other cards. But I kind of agree with going with minimal kind of buffs and nerfs, especially when a new set's coming out. And I mean, they know what the cards are going to be. So maybe some of these things are setting up for some interesting combos. Maybe we'll see something in the new set that allows you to draw a lot of cards. I don't know. Idean Decoy, another card that doesn't see a lot of play. And I still don't think it's going to see a lot of play. I don't really know what deck you're really going to be playing this in. Essentially, they made the change to this is that they made it the 4/8 that you get have battle ready. So I think it's still probably a mid kind of card, but yeah, maybe try it out. Hey, you never know. Maybe they buffed it for a reason. And Pocket Dimension is the last buff that we see here. Another relic yet again. And they made it a 3 cost instead of a 4 cost. I think it's another miss. I still, yeah, it's just, I don't think it's going to be good. Going on to the nerfs now. This is a big change right here. We have got Steward of the Garden going from a 4 health minion to a 3 health minion. And this is a very hot topic right now on Twitter. A lot of people are sad about this change, and I feel like they're sad because they were just like popping off with this and making a lot of games just non-games. I feel like that's what this card does, especially with the Nehemia Paragon, because if you just get this to stick, then on turn 3 you are just going to play the Paragon and you're going to have a 7/7, and it's going to be like so snowbally. It's so hard to deal with that on turn 3. I'm not going to lie. So I think this card definitely needed a change, and this was a good change to see. It's either you do this or you make it a 2 cost and you change the stats a little bit. But yeah, I like this a lot more fair, because it was so hard to kill at 4. Very, very difficult. Next up is Singularity Steward. The change on this is that it only counts minions units that are banished on your turn, which I think is a really good change because of the Shroud versus Shroud mirror match. It just makes a lot of awkward scenarios, and you never want to banish things on your turn when they have this out, but that's like what your whole deck does. Yeah, I like this change a lot. I think it's still a very good card. Next up is Freitas. Obviously the Augen Core all universal deck was really taking over last set, and Freitas was a part of that, and they made it a 4/4 instead of a 4/8, which is a big deal, but the card is still very strong. It still keeps all of its effects, which are incredible. It literally has 5 effects. I'm surprised they didn't change any of the effects, but yeah, just more fair, a decent amount more fair. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Ingrid is also another contender, just like Freitas, and they made it from a 7 energy card to an 8 energy card, which is a big deal. That 1 extra turn, I mean, usually makes the difference between them living and losing the game, and also gives your opponent another chance to draw a Miasmancer to turn off the musters for next turn. So yeah, I think this is a big change. And then they also did change the text a little bit at the end here, saying that you create 2 random universal units to your hand other than Ingrid, so she can't create herself. But that doesn't really happen often, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't change any of the abilities on these cards, because they're so freaking strong still. But I like that they balanced them a bit, because they definitely needed it. Yeah, if they didn't balance at least Ingrid, that would have been quite crazy, because this card usually just wins the game. Last up, we have Baron Squire. This is actually a pretty big change as well. They made it so you can his ability only works on the first spell that you play, the first effect that you play each turn. So instead of just popping off like crazy and putting a ton of spells into your Neve pool for your Paragon, yeah, it's only 1 time. So it's actually a big hit. I still think the card's pretty good. It's just a well-statted minion, and sometimes you could high roll. Honestly, usually I low roll with it. I don't know if I'm just bad at using him somehow. Maybe I'm due for a ton of good cards to happen. I don't know. But yeah, I think the card is just like okay, pretty good, and it needed that. It needed something. And then we just have bug fixes, miscellaneous bug fixes, and just regular info. But yeah, that's all the changes right there. Let me know what you think down below. A lot of people are saying on Twitter that they're not happy with the changes. They think that they should have hit Catherine a bit because of how much has been taken over the last few seasons. And I do agree with Catherine. Like, I do think that Catherine is quite strong, but I don't think it's really... I think it's very manageable. I don't know. I feel like Augen Core kind of keeps it in check. And honestly, when I play Shroud, I feel like I have a decent shot as well. I think that... I think it's just like a consistent deck. Maybe it's just a little too consistent. But I really do like a lot of these changes. I think that all the changes are good. Besides like the buffs, I think the buffs that they made were pretty useless. All these cards still feel unplayable to me. Maybe Trade Secrets is okay, but yeah, let me know what you think down below about the overall patch. What you think the biggest loser and the biggest winner of the patch were as far as like decks. And that's all I got. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. It's your boy. Peace.